Today we're going to show you how we create the weather distress look on the doors of our barn door cabinet. It's basically a four-step process. I've initially put down a white base coat, I distress it, then I put on a black glaze, and then we put on our finish coats. The only obstacle we run into is that when we're glazing this inner panel, it builds up in the corners. And the only way to prevent that is to finish the panels separately. Here I've mocked up a dry fitted what will become a door. I've labeled all the joints so I can put it back together, and I've even put an up arrow on the panel itself. So I need to knock it apart again to isolate that panel. So I've already put on my white base coat, and I'm using a water-based paint primarily because it dries fast and it's easy to use. And we just use a foam roller. I'd get a uniform coat, but I don't worry about getting paint down in the grooves. Water-based paint's going to raise the grain, so after it dries, I sand that off. And then I'm going to put a coat of lacquer, spray lacquer on it, just to seal that. And then after that dries, I'm going to put a mask off the outside 1/4 inch of the panel to be sure that it still fits back in the frame, so I don't get buildup. And now it's ready to distress. So this is my arsenal for distressing. Got an old gouge that's dull. This is a good one. It's a mortising chisel. If you come in at an angle, it leaves a nice ding. A bolt, it'll kind of leave a ding in a circle, plus when you put it on its side, you get some multiple scratches in it. This is one of my favorites. A dull saw blade in my bolt. It kind of makes a multiple line across there. So you can make as many marks and dings as you want, and then you'll be ready for glaze. So now we're ready for the glaze. And I'm using a water-based black glaze that I'll be applying with a foam brush. And I'll first fill all my grooves and then dab extra paint into all my dents and dings so I know they're full. And then I'll paint out the whole rest of the surface. And I'll be wiping it off with clean cotton rags in a long, continuous drag or pull as I wipe off the glaze. Well, let's try this. So again, I'm going to make sure I get those grooves filled up. And once I paint the surface, I'm going to immediately start wiping the glaze off. And now I'm filling all my dings. And now I'm just going to paint it out. And you want a uniform coat. I'm rolling the rag now to get a dry surface again. And that's it. This has to dry overnight. So when the glaze is dry on the panel, we're going to go ahead and assemble the door. We'll remove the masking tape, fit it in the door, glue it up, and finish sanding it. And then we also have to mask out, to protect the panel, this edge where it meets the door. Then we're going to paint the door, distress the door, and then it's ready to glaze again. The one thing we have to do, because glazes follow the direction of the grain, we have to mask out the stiles to, so you don't have overlapping glaze. And then again, we're going to try to make long strokes with our rag as we're wiping it off, being sure to stop on the masking tape. Again, I'm filling my dings and dents, and I'm also filling in that edge that goes down on the panel. So now I'm going to wipe this off. And on this lower one. And I just make a light pass down by the tape. So I'm going to remove that tape. And the edges I'll catch when I flip the whole door over and do the back side. I'll catch those edges. So now I'm going to run down the stiles of the door. Again, I'm filling my distress places. So I'm carefully cutting against this intersection. And again, running a pass on the inside edge. You have to use a discerning eye as you come across here. Got a little overlap there. So I'm going to keep finishing this up, but when it's dry, we'll give it 2 coats of a clear finish, and there you go. You'll have a finished door just like that.